Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Behind the Doctrine. Today our question is, who is Jesus? Now, Pastor, I was thinking, this is a question where if you were to ask a wide variety of people, you would probably get a wide variety of answers to who Jesus is. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. People, and the good thing about that is Jesus does seem to be on people's minds. He still is a prominent figure, which I think is hopeful and good. However, when we don't let Jesus define who he is in the Scriptures by reading about him in the Gospels, what we tend to do is we define Jesus based on our own opinions, based on the things that are kind of important to us and our culture. And so maybe some of the Jesuses that are popular in culture today are the American Jesus, the Jesus who's very, very concerned about American politics and the American economy, and that's kind of because Americans think they're the only people on the planet. Materialism's important in America and all that stuff. So the American Jesus would be concerned about our economy and our success as a nation. Then there's tolerant Jesus, politically correct Jesus, right? That's very something in our culture right now. That's a trending thing. This would be the Jesus who never says anything controversial, never hurts anybody's feelings. The Jesus who loves and accepts everyone as they are and doesn't ever point out sin and wrongdoing. That would be like the tolerant Jesus. There is the Jesus who is very interested and concerned about athletics. And I don't mean to be. Some of this stuff is a little bit silly though, because you have all these athletes in professional sports who are paying homage to Jesus after they win athletic competitions, and I don't know what their motives are, but it gives you the impression that Jesus is more interested in athletic performance than he is the salvation of souls. Mm-hmm. So in general, there's the Jesus who is attractive and cool. His appearance, he was relatable. He was kind of the guy who everybody wants to be around, and just all sorts of different ideas that we spin up about who Jesus is.
And so there are a wide variety of Jesuses out there, and if those that you described are some that we see being molded by culture, who is the Jesus that we see in the Gospels and God's inspired Word?
The Jesus that we meet in the Gospels is actually pretty confrontational in terms of he's always confronting our misdirected ideas about who God is. He's confronting our preconceived notions about what will make us happy and give fulfillment to our lives. He's also always challenging this natural human tendency to relate to God on the basis of works, performance. So the Jesus we meet in the Gospels is always surprising us, and he's always confronting just some of our misled ideas about God and relating to him. And the Jesus in the Gospels is completely different than anything our culture would say about him. Jesus that we meet in the Gospels is not powerful and strong, and he's not really even that interested in those things. He's weak. He's weak, and he's not ashamed of it. The Jesus that we meet in the Gospels is not wealthy and all that concerned about materialistic comforts. In fact, he said the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. The Jesus we meet in the Gospels has nothing in his outward appearance that would attract us to him. The prophet Isaiah said his appearance wasn't all that important. And there was nothing about Jesus that people would have seen him and been like, that's the guy. That's the guy God chose. The Jesus we meet in the Gospels wasn't all that politically correct. He didn't have a high approval rating because he wasn't here to win men's approval, but he was here to win God's approval, the Father's approval. So the Jesus we meet in the Gospels is nothing more and nothing less than God with us. a substitute. We often talk about in the Bible that we need a mediator, someone to go between sinful, self-absorbed humans and a holy, righteous God, someone who would stand in the gaps for us and die the death we deserve and come to life again for us and for our salvation. That's who Jesus is.
Well, thank you, Pastor.
Yep.
Hopefully that answers the question, who Jesus is, for you a little better. If you would like to know more information on different cultural takes on Jesus, there will be an article in the description below this video. If you have any comments or questions, please leave those below as well. Like and share our video. We hope you have a blessed day. Thank you for your time.